Hi, hello. Welcome to Tea Time with TRA Tocklai. In this episode, we will be talking about tea and health. To talk about this, I have invited today Dr. Preetham Chaudhary, who is working in Biotechnology division with Dr. Sangeeta. He has been working with health benefits of tea for quite some time now, and he has been handling independent projects also. So, welcome, Dr. Preetham. Dr. Preetham, let's start by accepting that tea is good for health. But to start this, I would like to understand from you, tea is categorized as kind of superfood. What is your thought process on this?
Yes, sir, I fully agree with that. Tea can be categorized as a superfood because it's rich in flavonoids, that's our polyphenols, and it's rich in L-theanine,
Yes.
and also it contains caffeine.
Yeah.
So all these properties makes tea as a superfood.
That's right. When we talk about various varieties of tea versus health benefits, the biochemical composition is going to remain the same in tea. But then there are changes in biochemical composition due to the manufacturing process. So, is there any difference between green tea, oolong tea, black tea, and white tea versus health benefits?
Overall health benefits will be similar, more or less.
Yes.
But constituents of flavonoids will be different. Like in green tea, it's rich in catechins, epigallocatechin gallate particularly. Then through manufacturing process, when we manufactured black tea, the black tea is particularly rich in thiaflavin.
Yes.
So it's a rich major polyphenol in black tea. So like in oolong tea, the semi-fermented tea, it has a mixture of both. We can find catechins also and a bit thiaflavins also in oolong tea.
So it's only the difference between the different forms of the volatile flavor compounds and then the health beneficial compounds. So that can only influence a little bit, fine tune a little bit, but then the overall sentence that tea is a healthy drink remains valid.
Yeah, it remains same, sir.
Yeah. Coming back to other form of tea, there is a big hype about matcha tea now. Matcha tea is consumption of tea leaf as such, almost like. Is it valid? Is it a valid statement that matcha tea is better than green tea in terms of health benefits?
I don't think so, sir. Please, we can compare both the teas because both are rich in antioxidant. Matcha tea is altogether a different process from agronomical practices to manufacturing, and green tea as well is also rich in antioxidants like catechins. So both has a beneficial effect. It's not right to say from scientific perspective also that matcha tea is better than green tea or vice versa.
Yeah, but only thing is matcha tea is a traditional tea of Japanese manufacturing process. That's the one thing. Other than that, the bioavailability remains constant. Whatever is digestible or whatever is water soluble, that will alone go into bioavailable composition.
Yes, because tea polyphenols, they mainly absorb in colon. In our intestine, 95% of polyphenols get absorbed in colon. It may happen in matcha tea that the polyphenol content will be more than green tea.
Amino acids are more.
Yeah, amino acids will be more in matcha tea.
Yeah, so that's going to have a different impact.
Yeah.
But then the overall difference is going to be insignificant.
Yes, sir, I think so. I think so. Both teas are equally good.
Equally
in fact, black tea also. Black tea thiaflavin also is very good antioxidant property. It has a very good antioxidant properties. The new literature has come up also about that. And in China also now researchers are getting very much attention to black tea also.
True. In fact, Chinese population want to drink more of black tea nowadays than green tea. Green tea they drink throughout the day.
Yeah.
But for relaxing, like in the evening or in the morning, they would like to take black tea nowadays. That's a kind of trend that's getting popular in China. As you yourself said very clearly about theanins and then caffeine content. See, coffee and tea, when we take these two drinks together, of course, I do drink coffee. I like coffee as well. But then when it comes to the question, people always believe that coffee gives a jolt. a kind of spike, immediate spike. Whereas tea gives a glide. It gets very steady and it stays for a longer time. What is your opinion on this, comparing with the biochemical compounds like theanins and
Yes,
caffeine?
yeah, as we know that coffee contains more caffeine, so maybe that's why it gives a jolt.
Yeah.
And tea, in compared to coffee, it has a less caffeine content. Scientific evidence also proved that consumption of tea leads to increase in dopamine, and also L-theanine gives more focus after tea consumption. So that's why maybe this is a process due to caffeine contains, the difference of caffeine contents between tea and coffee.
Yeah. Any studies are you coming across tea versus Alzheimer's disease?
There is one study, Alzheimer's, yeah, there are studies, but right now I remember one study about Parkinson, where it said that less amount of dopamine may lead to
Yeah.
Parkinson, and tea increases the dopamine level. So we can say that tea is good for cognitive diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson.
So far, we have been talking about general health benefits of various forms of tea. But coming to TRA and your work, I'm quite impressed by some of your work on tea and health. Can you just start talking about what you are doing on tea?
Yes, sir. Basically, our focus is on black tea. It's thiaflavin, the major polyphenol of black tea. What we are trying to do is that we want to increase the value of thiaflavin for nutraceutical and pharma industry, so that the cost of thiaflavin, the importance of thiaflavin, and indirectly the black tea importance will come into effect as a healthy beverage. And what we are doing here, we are maintaining cell lines, basically human cell lines. As I said that polyphenols mainly get absorbed in colon, large intestine. So we are culturing here colon cells, where we are trying to see the effect of thiaflavins in terms of anti-inflammatory properties and anti-genotoxicity properties. And we have found very promising results against thiaflavins. And like anti-inflammatory, there are some cytokines, tumor necrosis factor, interleukin. These are known cytokines and responsible inflammation in our body. And thiaflavin is just these cytokines in our study, what we have observed.
Now, what is the meaning of it when it is impacting on the cytokines?
Yes.
What is a practical translation to the consumers to say?
Here, what we are trying to develop nutraceuticals from tea bioactives, thiaflavin. So we can say, for consumer perspective, that consuming tea is good for your anti-inflammatory properties. For example, when people have arthritis or joint pain, it's inflammation. So tea, we can say, is good for rheumatic diseases. It has an anti-inflammatory property, and these are backed by scientific evidence also. And for example, another disease is intestinal bowel disease, IBD. So this is also inflammation in the gut. So one study by Tokiyama from Japan, they did on human volunteers with IBD, and they have found that consumption of tea leads to production of bacteria producing butyrate, and butyrate is good for immune functioning, better immune functioning. So those are proven in epidemiological perspective. And now what we are trying here, the same thing, what epidemiologically it has been proven, what we are trying to do is that we want to prove in a basic science, in a mechanism, how it helps in IBD patients. Means in a basic research, we want to prove the mechanism, so that the importance of this bioactives comes into picture, and in future it can be developed as a nutraceutical, and the pharma industry will show interest in this compound. Because it's us, TRA, Tocklai Tea Research Institute, as a tea institute, we have to work on it. We cannot expect the pharma industry will take up the basic R&D for that, and we are into it, and we are getting very positive results till now. So we are also collaborating with medical colleges, so in future we can do the clinical trials.
In fact, that's one of the valid points. Tea industry also has to come forward to take up some research. At this point, actually, I would like to say you something like last evening, almost around 7 o'clock in the evening, I got a call from one of my very senior planter friend, Mr. D.G. Hegde, who is a CEO and director of Assam Tea Company here, which is having existence of 180 years in Northeast. It's one of the oldest companies. The call was regarding partnering with TRA in developing some new products, because they have been manufacturing black tea for throughout this 180 years.
Yes.
Now that company is thinking of diversifying its product. So Mr. Hegde was asking me last night whether they can come forward to take up some kind of collaboration with us. So as you rightly say, the industries have to come. I would say the industries already started inquiring us whether we can partner with them. I think that's a quite a balance like we can maintain with the industry, right? If they come forward.
Yes, definitely, sir, and it's very much required also, because I would like to refer here the CII bulletin, that's Confederation of Indian Industries.
Yeah.
What they have released a bulletin in the year 2017 about the nutraceutical growth in India, and they have projected around double growth, like it's 30 billion in 2024. They have projected in 2030. By 2030, it will be 60 billion industry.
Wow.
And by 2047, it will go up to 100 billion. So it's never late now. Also, we can catch up to that. So why don't tea industry lag behind in that? We should also be part of this nutraceutical growth. And tea has such a rich polyphenols, such a healthy beverage. So now we have to take up these bioactives. We have to prove its beneficial properties through stringent research, through cell lines, through animal studies, through clinical trials, and we have to catch that bus. Sir, I mentioned the term epidemiology actually. So for viewers, it's very important to know what epidemiology is. Epidemiology is study of distribution of disease in a particular population, and how the disease happen, who, where, how, so that we can control it.
Yeah.
So most of the studies in tea has been done from perspective of health, has been done through epidemiological studies in a particular group of population.
Yes.
And but the pharma or the medical industry is not coming forward because one thing, because of the high cost of the bioactives. Second, because their basic research is still lacking to prove that through basic research and also through clinical trials. So what now TRA is doing, we are catching up with this, we are following these epidemiological studies, and we are trying to prove this in our models, in cell line models, through collaboration also, and through, like, for example, IBD. We have taken up the IBD. One of our scholars, she is working in intestinal bowel disease as part of her PhD work, but in a broader terms, our goal is to have a nutraceutical or to show the importance to the pharma industry.
That's great. See, I have come from industry now straight away, like 15 years at least I was in various industries. One thing when I came here, what I understood is for nutraceutical, like you are also mentioning, people are planting what is not existing for the past 10-15 years, or which are extinct. The plants have already gone extinct, but then they understood the nutraceutical value of it. They are bringing it back to the field, they are cultivating, they are trying to extract and then making it into tablet form or as a functional food. They are trying to sell. I mean, tea being cultivated in thousands of hectares everywhere, having a large number of functional properties, we don't do anything on that. Means that TRA is trying continuously, but then there has to be a partnership from the industry so that the product developed in TRA goes back to the market, commercialized in a quickest possible time. That I think is one of the very important points, that we should think of nutraceutical value of it, and the industry should not only listen to us about talking about nutraceuticals. In fact, they should come forward and then partner with us to do such trials, to do such experiments. I think TRA should be open to do some exclusive research for some partners also in the future. That's what I'm thinking. That will be the way forward. For example, a company is coming and then partnering with us. We should exclusively do some work for them on contract basis, like a contract research, and also on a royalty basis, so that the TRA also has its own income generated through.
Definitely, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Otherwise, what happens is all our efforts go into our own cold storage.
Yes.
Like we produce a lot of stuff that's not taking off to the industry. One of the examples, that tea tablets, which I came here as a visitor 20 years back to taste it.
True. Yeah.
Till now, it has not seen the market. We are trying now. Like nutraceutical and any other compound extraction for health aspects should be popularized, and then industry has to come forward and then take it up. Do we have any study or any data on anxiety versus tea drinking in the morning? Or
We have not done as such from Tocklai, but there are some literatures.
Yeah.
I just, before coming to this discussion, I was going through one paper from Psychopharmacology journal where it said that drinking tea has related to less anxiety.
Yeah.
And because I think because this is, we can attribute it to dopamine level, as it has been proven that tea increases dopamine level, and dopamine is known for alertness. It's known for it's a good hormone.
True. In the same subject, you were referring to something in Japan also, study in
Yes,
Japan
in
also.
Japan.
Was it in green tea or black tea?
Black tea, sir.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's quite
Black tea,
interesting.
yes.
So Japanese started researching on black tea. Yeah, that's quite interesting. There is a basic question like once you start doing some clinical trials, then you need approval. For example, to prove tea as a healthy drink, you have to necessarily take up some clinical trials. How do you manage it?
This clinical trials needed in vitro and in vivo data. What we are generating now is in vitro data in cell lines, and we have to document our data result, as well as some publication will also help to take the permission. And then we have to go for in vivo studies, animal studies. Already we have started. We have started with Dibrugarh University. We collaborated with them, with pharmacology division of Dibrugarh University, and we did some genotoxicity study in mice model. And what we have observed the dose level. We have standardized the dose, that this particular dose is non-genotoxic to non-toxic to animals. Those data will help us to take clinical trial permission from the drug control authority.
Yeah. I have been talking to the planters about influence of polyphenols against psoriasis, the disease, skin disease. What is your opinion on that?
We have already taken up, sir, this particular work with Patanjali. We have a MOU with Patanjali where they did some studies in their models against psoriasis. And as per their communication, they have found very interesting and very positive results. So maybe in future, they will come up with a product against psoriasis from tea.
Yeah, that's cool. And when we talk about tea and health, it is not about only the inner body health. It's also about physical appearance. From that ground, tea for hair care, tea for skin care, how do you foresee them? We have not done much work, I am sure about it. While the Chinese R&D having a lot of facilities, flooded with money for research, they could afford to do this kind of expensive research. We are very much lacking on that. There is absolutely no doubt about it. But what is your opinion? How do we start that kind of work?
To start with, I think we have to first collaborate with some industry partner and who are working with the skin products. Basically, what last 5 years back, we tried to collaborate with one Denmark company. We have submitted a joint project also, but somehow that project doesn't got the funding. But normally, because EGCG is already been used in cosmeceuticals, that's the green tea polyphenols, it's already in use. But somehow this thiaflavine has not been used because work has not been done yet. Maybe in Tocklai we can take up with that. We have to start a lab where we can culture the skin cell line, because here again the cell line comes into picture. Because we have to start, anyhow we have to start the study with cell lines. So there are some specific cell lines, it's called Hackett cell lines, for this kind of work, cosmeceutical work, where we can find out the dose and mechanism. Then we can go for in vivo and trials, clinical trials.
Yeah. When you talked some time back, you said about it's getting absorbed in the colon. Then how is it getting transmitted to the body?
Tea mainly absorbed in the colon. From the colon cells, it gets transported to the body through blood vessels, to heart, to liver, mainly first to the liver, and then to kidney as well, to brain function also.
Yeah.
So colon is the main source from where it gets transported.
Yes. And when you go Western countries, particularly hair care products, particularly I'm talking about hair colorants, organic hair colorants, or what you call it as natural hair colorants without any chemicals, which you apply in your hair and then wait for 5 hours. Soak that powder for 8 hours or overnight before application. After application, you wait for 3 hours and 5 hours. That's a kind of instructions. But then if you look at it, if you look at the ingredients, third major ingredient or fourth major ingredient in that is always green tea or black tea. What portion of green or black tea is helping there for coloration? Any idea?
So I believe it's polyphenols again, because thiaflavine is very rich in colorant.
Yeah.
So
Polyphenol should give
polyphenols,
that
yeah.
kind of color with
Yes.
other additives. You were often mentioning about study on cell line
Yes.
matters. How is it really happening? How is it going to help us?
What cell lines are? Cell lines are cells from a single cell. It maintains the homogeneous genetic makeup. So what it does is that we can screen our properties, health properties of bioactives there itself in the cell lines. We can understand the mechanism, and also there are some cell lines which are originate from insect.
Yeah.
We are also in Tocklai, we are maintaining insect cell line also. Like one important cell line is SF9. It's originated from Spotoptera frugifera, and it's being used mainly in the industry to understand the compound, this insecticide and pesticides mechanism and detoxification process. Recently, one is under PPC code. One insecticide developed by Bayer's Crop Sciences is flupyridifuron.
Ah, yes.
This particular insecticide has been developed by studying an SF9 insect cell line.
Okay.
And the Bayer's, it uses the SF9 cell line to understand its mechanism, its detoxification process. So those kind of work we can do in Tocklai itself with our cell lines also. And we'll be happy to know, sir, that we are also trying to develop our own cell line from Hypocida talaca, because one virus, this speculovirus NPV, nucleopolyhedrovirus, shows a very promising result in earlier studies by TRA. But the main bottleneck is production.
Okay.
Because as per the Chief Advisory Officer from Nagarakata, he told me that this NPV works very good in the field, but the problem is with the production.
Okay.
So this cell line can help that in the production process. If we can standardize in our lab condition by maintaining the GMP, good manufacturing practice, then the contamination issue will not come, then titer issue will not come. We can have a uniform titer, and NTRF, National Tea Research Foundation, has given us this project to standardize this work in the cell line, and initial results are very encouraging. We have seen that this particular virus is replicating in the SF9 also.
Okay.
Spotoptera frugifera, because it's a permissive cell line. That's why it's very popular in the industry to produce proteins, to produce insecticide work, means for studying the insecticide work rather than produce actually. And so we have seen that this virus is replicating in SF9, and also we are trying in addition our own Hypocida talaca cell line also, so that we can have more titer, more increased virulence titer. So those way the cell lines are very integral part of biological research, and it can help in a very big way to the industry. And later on we can have our group dream is to have a big facility, bioreactor facility, where we can produce the virions, this virus particle in the cell line, so that we can supply to the industry, so that it can mitigate the use of insecticide, synthetic insecticide. And
that's fantastic. Yeah,
and also our dream, our goal objective is to prove the importance of thiaflavin, and to prove to the industry that pharma industry will come forward. We want to prove that this thiaflavin is so good in reference to drug also, standard drugs, FDA approved drugs like dexamethasone, prednisone. We know the limitation because now we are doing the in vitro studies, but our objective to prove it through clinical trials also. But we are on the process, we are doing slowly, and gradually we are progressing. And I must admit here the funding from Department of Biotechnology also, and I must admit our group thankful to the directorate, our management also, for allowing us to do such kind of work.
Yeah, that's always a pleasure actually. We should involve ourselves in those kind of advanced studies which will benefit the industry as well as the institute. Coming back to cell line again, as you rightly said, we can make our own. What is the end use finally? What the planters will get?
So NPV, sir, it will be a insecticide. So it will be an organic insecticide.
Exactly.
Against the loopers, Hypocida talaca.
Yeah.
So planters will get that benefit.
But so for every pest, you can make one such kind of MPV if it is possible.
No, sir. Okay. For looper, yes, we can. But for other insect, we have to look after other biological agent, because NPV is a proven biological inhibitor, one I can say, or pesticide, biological biopest against the Hypocida talaca. But for other insect, we have to see. But cell line, how it can help in other insect also, new molecules we can study here.
Yes.
Because if you go for trial, suppose for example we have 10 new molecules, and we have to do field trial for 10 molecules. So it will increase the cost, and it will increase the time also. What we can do, cell line can help here. We can screen the 10 molecules in the cell line itself in the laboratory condition, and we can say which two are the best. Then in the later part, those two can be studied in the field. So that's why cell line can be helpful. It can help in that way also.
Yes, that's a wonderful idea. Yeah, I think we should try to do more work on this line in the future. Yeah. When you talk about nutraceutical, is there any other compound other than polyphenols which will go in nutraceuticals?
I think L-theanine can go, but L-theanine is easily available in the market.
Yes.
So our focus is on thiaflavine, and here why people may ask that why it's so good, then why
but the
people
concentration of thiaflavines are very low.
Yes, exactly, sir. Concentration is low, and that's why its extraction process is very costly.
Yes.
But now biochemistry division, they have filed a patent also. I hope Padma can give more limelight into it, how they have done. So now its cost is it will come what we have discussed. But that actually motivates us more now. That it's feasible now to have a product from thiaflavine. The industry will come forward, the pharma industry, provided we have to prove then that it's worth investing in thiaflavine.
In fact, trust me, now industry is looking forward for this kind of products. If we have right products, I think industry will come forward to take it up, to adopt it.
It will be very good for tea industry also, because we know now the production is more, black tea production in India. And thiaflavine can be found only in prepared made tea, not in the green leaves. So if we can show the importance of thiaflavine, we can have the extraction from the made tea. So it will increase the cost of also the tea. It will increase the demand for this black tea.
I think from the manufacturing side also we need to align with such studies, because what I am feeling is, suppose if thiaflavine is getting generated during the fermentation process or oxidation process, for example.
Yes.
So it is better directly to look at how to do the oxidation process faster instead of going through the entire protocol of tea manufacturing. Because after all, you wanted to extract only the thiaflavine content from it.
Rightly said.
So I think we have to target that particular compound and then limit the manufacturing to that particular compound, so that we can save some time from the manufacturing. And then also, that's what it needs, multi-divisional thought process. All divisions have to come together, all relevant divisions have to come together to make this really economical also. It's quite possible we can make it economical. Fiber is something that is giving a big hype among the people. There is one thing that they do not understand much in clarity is about crude fiber versus dietary fiber. The crude fiber is totally waste, and then it is not going to give any benefit like a dietary fiber. But there is a misconception about crude fiber content in tea is more like 16%, 17% or 14%, whatever it is, that people started thinking that it is dietary fiber. It is wrong. On the other side, the tea waste, which contains a lot of fiber in it, there are some research I have seen. It's really funny to see them doing such kind of research, that they add it to the biscuits, they add it to this and that, thinking that it is enriching your fiber content. No, those fibers are different fibers which are not useful anyway to the human being. So those kind of things are coming in. People without any knowledge about tea, they start doing tea versus health, some studies, 1 year studies, 2 years studies, a lot of studies like that, and then they come out with a research paper. Then that's getting circulated over WhatsApp and then LinkedIn and all the social media that we have done this will work. So what is your opinion on that, those kind of studies?
Yes, sir, there are lots of such kind of studies, and I believe that one of the main lacunae here in this particular our industry or related to tea, because kitchen research will not do in the long term.
Fantastic term,
and,
yes.
The pharma industry, what I believe, why they are not coming up for this natural product, because mainly of the very research, one thing is lack of research up to clinical trials.
Yeah.
Proven on the mechanism, because it's very important for a drug manufacturer to know the mechanism, how it works actually in the body. And for clinician also, if they want to prescribe a drug, it's very important to know the mechanism of the drug.
Yeah.
So that's why we have to do very, very rigorous and robust research on the topic, so that in the long run, the compounds, the T bioactives, especially our interest is on T bioactives, will be very popular, and also it will taken up in an open arm from the industry as well.
Yeah. In fact, I'm not against research. I always feel that research has to go on in all the angles. We should not compromise on doing research. We should put in a lot of efforts to conduct basic research as much as possible. But only problem is drawing conclusion from 2 years study, 3 years study, and then taking one element into consideration instead of taking the holistic approach. Sometimes they are manners also, because those papers are forwarded to us and the industry starts asking us, what is your opinion on this, your views on that. And if you start telling negative about it, then there are chances that they are going to think, since we have not done that work, we are talking against it. But the reality is, those kind of work do not have any substantial evidence to claim, because tea and health is a very vast subject. We can discuss for hours together, but then we are cutting it short, or we are discussing specific to the point, because whatever the evidence we have around us, based on that we are talking here. When you talk about artisanal tea, like you also said, the health benefits are not proven, but I think you gave me some samples of Falab tea a month ago, which I tasted. It was really wonderful.
With a smoky flavor.
Smoky flavor. I really enjoyed drinking it on my Saturday and then also Sunday. But then it is our responsibility to bring up all those kind of artisanal teas, or a kind of specific to certain regions. We need to bring them out, and then we need to also find out what kind of health benefits it's going to give. Suppose if there is a belief that those teas are anti-diabetic, or those teas will bring down the blood pressure, such claims are there, then we can test it. We can test it through some studies, some biological markers we can use to test it in the future.
Definitely, we are doing it now, and we're also trying, the chemistry division, they are trying to identify what compounds it has. There's every possibility that it may have some different compound other than tea, because of the bamboo factor coming into picture with manufacturing process.
Yeah, and also during smoking process, which is happening for months' time, we do not know is there any change in biochemical components. I think it is, they are keeping it for some months.
In fact, so years. We have found, we have collected one 10 years old,
God.
one is 6 years old, another is 4 years old.
Okay.
And already they have characterized biochemistry division. I believe Padma can give more.
Sure, I will talk to Dr. Padma in the future episodes about this. But then it was, it's a wonderful feeling to see that teas are kept for 3 years, 5 years and 10 years.
Yes.
On the other side, we stamp our teas with the FSSAI logo, that best before 12 months, best before 18 months.
Mainly, sir, we can attribute due to their knowledge, traditional knowledge. It's airtight. When we collected those teas from simple community, from their homes, it's really airtight. It's fully packed in a bamboo. So that's why teas are, I think, and also it kept in a smoky environment, in a fireplace. So there is no chance of any bacterial contamination or fungal growth there.
Yeah. There is no way. There's no way it can enter in. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Preetham, for your valuable time in sharing your knowledge with us. In fact, you and your team are doing a wonderful research in this institute. I really appreciate that. Keep going forward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And to the viewers, subscribe to our channel to get more videos on tea. Thank you.